Let me tell you a little story about a plane crash, but with a happy ending. This is, of course, Sully, Clint Eastwood's new movie. He's our director. Tom Hanks is our star. He is playing Chesley Sullenberger, or Sully, the titular hero of this movie. But he is joined in the cockpit with First Officer Jeff Skiles, portrayed by Aaron Eckhart. And I got to tell you, this movie works, I'd say about 60% of the time, and there's about 30% of kind of maudlin TV movie BS in this thing, and then there's I'd say 10% of Clint Eastwood slow-paced, jazz-infused kind of weird out there filmmaking in here that actually kind of contributes to my enjoyment of this movie. I think it really effectively captures the moments of terror that Sully and Skiles and all of their passengers must have been feeling when the birds hit the engines and all kinds of shit hit the fan, and they didn't know what the heck to do, and they tried to follow procedure, and things were happening too fast, and Sully made the decision to famously land on the Hudson River in New York City. And I can't imagine what that must have been like on the day in that city, because obviously, planes so close to the city is a horrifying image in any context, but particularly in New York, which has been devastated. But the fact that they managed to land that plane and there was no loss of life, there were just some injuries, is kind of a miracle, and obviously great fodder for a cool movie. The problem with this movie, though, is that they frame it like it's going to be a courtroom drama, because there was an investigation into the handling of this, emergency landing. The FAA wanted to kind of, qualify this as a crash landing, and maybe some procedures weren't followed, and maybe they had the opportunity to kind of land at a couple of airstrips surrounding the Hudson or near the Hudson, but of course that wasn't true, and so we get this sort of this investigation sort of element in here, and it all feels a little anticlimactic because we know how the real story panned out. We know that Sully is a hero, so there's not really a big element of surprise, and frankly the dialogue and the acting around those moments is just so heavy-handed, and reading the novelization of what's going on, just people sort of expressing their subtext and trying to kind of convey how they're feeling, and just sort of deadened tones, and it's just a completely kind of dull counterpoint to the exhilaration that we feel when the effects kick in and we see everybody in the plane having to kind of grapple with what looks like a real-life tragedy. And I thought, Clint Eastwood and his effects team and all the people that worked to visually land that plane on screen for us and recreate those moments did an outstanding job. This is really amazing work. It just slows down to kind of nothing when we get back into offices and courtrooms, and we also get to see Laura Linney on the phone every once in a while, kind of complaining about the fact that Sully's not back up in the air already. He needs to be making some more money so they can keep their second home. It felt a little inauthentic compared to the great lengths that everybody went to create the authenticity of that core, pulse-pounding, emergency landing experience, which is really incredible, and it is the reason that you want to see this movie. Now, Tom Hanks is great as Sully, but we've seen him perform in more interesting roles before. Sully is and you've seen him probably on the news or on Letterman or something like that. He's a very reserved gentleman. He's a by-the-book guy. He is an incredibly efficient thinker, and Hanks, puts all of that on screen. Aaron Eckhart, I think, plays a great backup to Tom Hanks' Sully, and I think Skiles actually shows a little more emotion. He's a younger pilot, so obviously he doesn't have the flight experience. He doesn't have the experience with navigating through disaster like Sully has. I came away a little underwhelmed by Sully. I was kind of expecting this to be a tour de force. I thought American Sniper was a better movie that Eastwood directed not too long ago, and that also played with some nonfiction elements, obviously embellished a little bit. And I think there was an effort here to not embellish too much, but in that effort, Sully kind of, as a movie, feels a little sort of flat. For a movie with an exhilarating plane landing like this on the water, it's crazy that there should be any kind of boring bits in this thing at all, but there is. I'm going to give Sully a 6.5 out of 10. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.